I wanted to clear up real quick on the Tupac one, on that particular section, was the on the video we did in the car, was the fact that Tupac, I asked who killed Tupac, you know what I mean, but I really should have probably went into why they killed Tupac, you know what I'm saying, and we could briefly speak on that, you know what I mean, because Tupac was powerful. I mean, think even the fact that we talking about him 20 years later, that Funk Flex is still bringing him up 20 years later, shows you how big of an impact. Now, I read a few books on Tupac, a few John Patash's book, you know what I mean, his second book, The War, you know, Drugs, War in America, something around that title like that. And he basically, they had files and paperwork that says Tupac was watched since he was a young kid, before he got into anything. He was already being watched, you know what I mean, because they was watching, you know, Matulu. Rick Ross makes a reference in his song, you know what I mean, his new CD, you know what I mean, y'all can check that out too, that's hot, you know what I mean, he makes a reference to that in that song. So Matulu was what you call a revolutionary, you know what I mean, and this revolutionary group, you know, was bred out of, you know, black people responding to police brutality, and, you know, police officers doing all kind of heinous acts in the community. So this was set up for, you know what I mean, to protect the community. They had lunch programs and everything. Just to clarify that, not to get too deep off into it. That's a long topic and a long subject. But around the time of his death, everybody knows that Tupac, you know, was trying to bring the gangs together, politicize the gangs, and letting them know, like, look, we need to come together, you know what I mean, and fight the machine as opposed to fighting each other, because, you know, Crips, you know, Bloods, at one point in time, you know, it was, you know, aimed at helping and building up the community. But, you know, taking jobs out, you know, the lack of employment, you know what I mean, and the influx of drugs and stuff like that, you know, people started fighting over colors and stuff like that. So it's important to note that one of the reasons, that's just one reason, because we can go deep, that Tupac may have been, you know, murdered, killed by whoever wanted to get him wiped out. Because another thing we know, another fact that we do know, is that, you know, that the media exacerbated the tensions between the East and the West Coast. That they you know, embellished a lot of things, because you got videos of Tupac and really Biggie saying it ain't really on like that. You know, we was cool. He was on my couch, whatever. And y'all know the story. So then when the media took it somewhere far, and then it's like you create the atmosphere now. You create the atmosphere for somebody to be killed now. And then it's like, if the FBI is following you, paint the picture. Who's been in Las Vegas? If the FBI got you under surveillance, the biggest fight night in America, was it a Tyson fight or something like that? Everybody's there. Right. Secure, like, come on, you in Vegas, it's lit up, it's bright. You mean to tell me they couldn't find the person who did this? If the FBI got you under surveillance, they can't see who killed you? Something's fishy about that, man. But I you know.
Word up, you put it right on the head, man. Say less. Ain't nothing else to say, man. You put that right on the head. They were already set out after they took out Malcolm and Martin. It was embedded that they needed no more leaders, and he was right path on the track, and they had to annihilate that quick. He died at 24. Yes, imagine if he was alive right now. It would have been a situation, and like I said, it was bigger than rap. And we were in a day and age where that information wasn't given to us the way. Imagine if Pac was alive right now with Facebook, Twitter, and all. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know if they'd be able to stop him. And they're doing their best to try not to have another Pac, because they knew Pac was probably going to be bigger than a Malcolm or Marvin. A Malcolm or a Martin. You know what I mean? Because he had the power of music behind that. So he had the young ear on top of that. And then he had a message behind that, and he was integrating, like you said, Crips and Bloods, and he was about to get them ready. And he could go into any one of them hoods and talk to them, and they had an ear. You know what I mean? Any one of them, every fucking where. It was power behind that, and they seen it quick. So they took him out 24. And they had to, and it's documented facts that they do that. So why wouldn't it be done to him? And they got a perfect cover up for that to happen, and just go, oh, okay, yeah, bop, and then let's kill Big too. See, West Coast, East Coast.
Right. I got one more.